What if everything you've been running from is exactly what could set you free? Sounds crazy, right? But stay with me, because the very thing you've buried deep inside, those childhood wounds, that emotional trauma you swore you'd never revisit, might actually be the doorway to the inner peace you've been chasing your whole life. Most people think healing means forgetting, moving on. Let it go, they say. But what if that's the exact reason you still feel stuck, anxious, or like something's missing, even when everything on the outside seems fine? The truth is, the pain you felt as a child, whether it was from emotional neglect, a harsh parent, or simply not feeling seen, left an imprint, one that quietly shapes how you trust, love, and show up in the world. But here's the twist. Facing it doesn't break you, it builds you. That childhood trauma might just be your greatest teacher, guiding you toward emotional resilience, self-worth, and deep, lasting healing. In this video, we're going to explore why unlocking your childhood pain can actually fast-track your self-healing journey. You'll learn how to deal with childhood trauma in ways you were never taught, and how reparenting yourself could be the key to finally feeling grounded, whole, and at peace. Let's dive into the truth most people avoid, and the quiet strength that lives on the other side of it. How childhood pain shapes adult behavior. Most people don't realize just how much their adult struggles are rooted in childhood pain. That constant need to please, that fear of rejection, that voice in your head saying you're not good enough. Yep, often echoes of childhood emotional neglect or trauma that went unspoken. It's not about blaming your parents. It's about understanding your wiring. Because once you see the pattern, you can finally start to rewrite it. Take, for example, someone who was always told to be strong and stop crying. On the surface, they grow into a high-achieving adult. But underneath, they're emotionally numb, unable to connect deeply, even with themselves. That's not strength, that's survival mode. Recognizing these silent programs is the first step in healing childhood wounds. Here's the kicker. Unresolved childhood trauma doesn't just fade. It shows up in your relationships, your work ethic, your inner critic. It whispers things like, "You're too much," or "You'll never be enough." Sound familiar? That's not your truth. That's your pain speaking. And once you spot it, you're no longer its puppet. What's wild is that many people are walking around with wounds they don't even know exist. They've normalized dysfunction. They think chaos is passion. They confuse attention with love. And all of that traces back to their inner child, begging to be heard. But how do we start listening? Reparenting yourself. Becoming the adult you always needed. Once you realize your inner child is still hurting, the question becomes, who's going to take care of them now? The answer is you. Reparenting yourself means showing up with the love, safety, and validation you might have missed growing up. It's not about reliving the pain, it's about becoming the adult your younger self was waiting for all along. Let's say you grew up feeling like your emotions were too much. Reparenting might look like journaling every morning to check in with your feelings, or setting boundaries without guilt. It could mean saying, "I love you" to yourself out loud, even if it feels weird at first. These small daily acts are powerful. They're not fluff, they're psychological healing in action. And no, you don't need to have it all figured out. The beauty of reparenting is that it's a process of discovery, not perfection. Some days it means resting instead of hustling. Other days it means asking, what would my ideal parent say to me right now? Then actually saying it. This is how you start healing from the past and building self-worth from the inside out. Honestly, if more people knew how life-changing this kind of self-healing journey can be, the world would be a gentler place. Kind of makes you want to send this to a friend, or, hit that like button so more people stumble into this message. Just a thought. The crazy thing is, most people never pause to question their own inner dialogue. But once you do, you start to see that voice wasn't even yours. It was inherited, conditioned, programmed. And now, it's time to rewire. But how do you truly begin that transformation? From surviving to thriving, how childhood pain becomes quiet strength. Here's where everything starts to click. Your childhood pain doesn't have to be your life sentence. It can be your superpower. Once you begin your trauma healing journey, something profound happens. You stop just surviving and you start thriving. That pain, it transforms into quiet strength, the kind that doesn't shout, but stands tall, unshakable from the inside out. Think of people like Oprah or Gabor Mate, both shaped by deep early trauma, yet their pain became the foundation of their wisdom. That's post-traumatic growth in action. You don't need a global platform to do the same. Maybe for you, it looks like holding your boundaries with calm confidence or finally breaking a toxic cycle in your family. That's real strength. And it's quiet, not loud. The key is not to rush the process. Emotional trauma healing takes time, and that's okay. You're not late. You're not broken. In fact, the very fact that you're still here, curious, searching, learning, is proof of your resilience. That's how personal growth really works. Slow, often invisible, but deeply powerful. It's funny. Most people think peace is found by running away from their past. But the ones who face it, they're the ones who find a kind of freedom most can't even imagine. That's what this whole self-discovery journey is really about. But how do you keep that peace alive, especially when life tries to pull you back into old patterns? So now that you know, what are you going to do with it? Because here's the truth, your healing doesn't start in some distant future. It starts the moment you decide to stop running and start listening. That inner child of yours, they're still there, still waiting. And the path to inner peace isn't paved with perfection. It's built on small, brave choices to face what hurt you and choose something better. You've seen how childhood trauma recovery isn't just about getting over it. It's about getting real, about rewriting the stories you didn't even know you were carrying. So what's one thing, just one, you can do today to take a step toward healing from the past? Could be journaling, could be therapy, could be just sitting still and saying, I'm here for you now. What will it be? And hey, if this hit home, maybe it's a sign to keep going. This channel is here to walk with you through the quiet strength of healing, self-discovery, and growth. So if this resonated, go ahead and subscribe, not just for more videos, but to keep showing up for yourself. And turn on notifications so you don't miss the next step in your journey. Because the more you understand your pain, the closer you get to your peace.